Next, as we have now covered up all basic types of networks, now we will see that how the networks structure looks like if we are connecting 10 computers, so maybe it is in LAN. Okay, it can be in LAN, but what type of formation it will form, or what type of structure it will have, how the computers are getting connected, like in the rounded form or in a single linear line, or one after another, or in a parallel form. So there are different forms of connecting a single network. So these structure of network, how to connect a network, is basically known as topologies. What is known as topologies? Here we will see clearly network topologies. Okay, topology refers to the layout pattern in which various computers are connected to one another to form a network. The computers on a networks also referred to as nodes. Yes, each computer in a topology are known as nodes. All computers are known as nodes. They all are nodes. There are basically four types of topologies we have. The first one is known as bus topology. Bus, don't take the reference from the bus that is a vehicle bus by which you can, you know, roam in the city. No, that bus we are not talking about. Bus means uh, a data bus. Data bus means it basically kind of a wire which takes care of the data which is going to and from one another end. In bus topology, all the computers are connected to a single cable called the bus. Yes, if you can see this is a single bus, or a thick cable or a wire, which is known as bus, and all the other computers are connected to that single bus. Is it? Yes, so this is known as bus. The transmission of data from any computer travels to the length of the bus in both the direction and can be received by all other computers on the network. If the address of a computer that is of the intended recipient, it accepts the data, otherwise the data is rejected. The advantage of bus topology is that it is quite easy to set up and even very cheap as well. However, a network cannot function if there are breaks in the bus. That means if it is a single cable and it is broken from there, that means this side is still connected to the network which is starting from here, but this side won't be connected to the network as it is broken from this point. Okay, yes. Now one another thing is already mentioned, that whenever data is transferred, that means suppose this computer number, I must tell you, suppose this is computer number 1 and this is computer number 5. So if computer number 1 wants to send the data to computer number 5, so it will send the data directly to the bus. So bus means, because this bus starts from here and ends here, so data will travel through one end to another, means it will cover up all the bus, means it will travel from one end to another end. That means it can reach all computers, but it can only reach to the computer but will not go inside, because computer 1 only wants to send data to computer number 5, so that data may travel to each and every system, but it won't be accepted by others except the fifth one. So basically what will happen, if the data will be is to be received by this computer, then only this computer will receive, others won't receive it. Okay, and this is one of the cheapest type of network, because there is no extra device. You can see clearly that except computers there is no other devices required to be brought in the structure. Okay, next we have ring topology. Ring topology, as you can see, we are talking about a loop or a ring. In ring topology, each computer is connected to two other computers, means one from left hand and one from right hand. Yes, every computer is connected in that manner so as that it can form a closed ring like structure. In this topology, data is transmitted in one direction only, unidirectional. Either it can go from left to right, or either it can go from right to left, but not both sides. It will be only unidirectional. One problem is with this topology, that I can say it is a disadvantage, that the ring network, whenever it breaks from any computer, the entire network gets disabled. How? Let us see. Like in this ring topology, suppose this is the system and every system is connected to one left system and one right system. This computer left, right, this computer left, right, this computer left, right, so that it is forming a ring like structure. Yes. Now the problem here also the same as of bus topology. Suppose, and data is unidirectional, as you can see these arrows, they are always going from left to right, means data flow is only from left side to right side. Okay, now the problem is, suppose data is roaming around and this cable here is broken from this end. Now you can see, now there is no formation like a ring, and if there is no ring, data cannot go forward, and if cannot go forward, it won't reach here, won't reach here, won't reach here, and won't reach here, as it cannot go reverse. That is the main problem. We can say कि suppose that suppose if the cable is broken from here, data can move the other way, but as I told you, the data is unidirectional. It is pre-decided that whether the data will go left or right. So now if in the network data is going already left to right, so it will only move that way. So if the cable is broken from this side, so we can say no forward movement of data is getting done. So we can say network is broken, and the whole structure we call it broken down. Okay, next. The third type of topology is known as star topology. Why it is called star topology? As you can clearly see, it forms a star. Star means not like this one. Don't think of this star. No, this is not this star. Star means this type of star, where at every end of the wire we can have one system, and at center we can also have one system. So this is called the star topology. Here in star topology, all the computers are connected to a central computer or a central node, which is this. Oh, what happened? Yes, this is called as a central node. The data to be exchanged between any two computers passes through the central node. That means whosoever the computer wants to connect to any other one, he or I must correct myself, it has to go through only via the central node. Suppose this system wants to send data to this system, only via central node it will go from this system, this system, here and here. That means whenever a system is sending or receiving some sort of data, it must pass through only the central node. Okay, that means the central node is like an administrator computer. The central node controls all the activities of the other nodes. More computers can be easily attached or added to the network. That is the main big advantage of this network, that while in running a system, we can add another node to this. Suppose there are 4 nodes are there, we can add another 5th computer to the node, 6th computer to the node, 7th computer to the node, anything we can directly attach. So how do we attach it to directly to the computer? No, I must tell you that in this figure it is not clearly given, as computers don't get connected to a central computer directly. Basically what happens, there is a central device, I must draw it. There is a central device, this is called either a hub or a switch. We will talk it about later on in the next slides. This hub is basically connected to the central system, and this hub is having number of networking ports so that different computers can connect to it. Okay, so this is basically the way of connecting computers to the star topology. Now, the breakdown of computers except the central node does not affect the functioning of the network. This is the main advantage of this system, not like the previous ones. Suppose this system fails or this cable cuts, so you can clearly see there is no effect on the remaining network. It cannot affect the full network, except what? If only this computer fails. So you can clearly see all the other computers are connected to this one. So if this one gets failed, that means whole system is corrupted now. So except this one, others if are getting failed, there is no issue. Your remaining computers can easily be connected to the network. Okay, next we have mesh topology. Mesh is basically a synonym of net or the web. As you can clearly see here, does it look like a web or a net? Yes. So in mesh topology, every single computer is connected to every other computer on this network. That means one system is connected via different cables to the different systems, and I can say each computer is connected to the each other computer in this system. That's why it is very costly one, because there are so many wires required or devices required to connect, as every system is connected to the other systems. So now there are 2 types of this mesh topology, either the full mesh topology or the partial mesh topology. You can see the difference between. Full mesh topology is this one, which I have already drawn. The second one is known as partial mesh topology. In partial, what is there? We cannot say that every system is connected to the every other, but every system is connected to some of the other systems in the network, and normally people create partial mesh topology is implemented because it does not require that much amount of money to be invested. Okay, next one. As we have completed our topologies, now let us think about transmission media. Now we will basically talk about cables, wires and wireless medium of data transmission. As we can see, data can be transferred either in two ways, wired or wirelessly. We can connect two different points either using a wire, cable, or wirelessly using waves. Which type of waves? Radio waves, light waves, microwaves, or satellites. Okay. Computers must be connected to each other to form a network. Computers can be connected using either wires, cables, or they can be connected in a wireless manner. Now, let us first talk about the wired transmission media. Means we will talk about the cables, we will talk about the physical wires which can connect to different networks. There are different types. First one is twisted pair cable. What we are talking about? Twisted pair cable. Twisted pair is called twisted because you can see here all the wires, they are in pairs and all are twisted to each other like this one wire, and it is twisted with another wire. That's why it is known as twisted, and because they are in pairs, that's why it is fully called as twisted pair cable. This consists of a pair of insulated wires which are twisted together. The use of two wires twisted around each other, it helps to reduce the disturbance in the signal from the outer interference. The twisted pair cable is often used in two or more pairs, all within a single cable. The use of two wires twisted around each other, I must say, the twisted pair cabling comes in two different varieties. One is shielded. Shielded means you can clearly see at every pair there is a aluminium or copper shield, but in the other unshielded twisted pair, you can see they are only twisted pairs of wires and they are wrapped up around a single plastic jacket or a outer material. Here outer material is present, but inside the main twisted pair wires are also wrapped up in a aluminium or copper shield. So there are two types of twisted pair cables: shielded twisted pair and unshielded twisted pair cable, known as STP or UTP. Okay, move to the next. Okay, we have now coaxial cable. In short, we call it as coax. Coaxial cable is an electrical cable with a conductor at its center. What is the conductor? This thick wire, which is basically made up of copper, is known as conductor. This inner conductor is surrounded by a tubular insulating layer. This white material, can you see there? This white material is known as insulator. Now, this insulator is surrounded by a conductive layer. Which layer? This. We are talking about this. You can see na, this layer is known as conductive layer, or sometimes also called as shield. Now, which is finally covered by the outer insulating layer, which is, you can see the black one. This is known as. Now, the third type of optical fiber cable is there. Okay, optical fiber cable is called optical fiber because it is made up of fiber, and this fiber is made up of glass. So we can clearly say the optical fiber cable consists of a central glass core surrounded by several layers of protective materials. It transmits the data in the form of light rather than electronic signal. Mind it, everyone. Yes, this is the only cable which does not allow any sort of electronic signal to pass through. Yes, no, not at all. Rather, it uses the light waves. It uses the light from one end to another to be transferred, to be go through. Okay. because it does not use any electronic signals, so any interference, electronic interference is eliminated. Yes, so this is one of the most secured cable if you talk about in the terms of data. The other type of cables or wireless media, maybe data packets are lost in the middle of the sending and receiving process, but in this type of cable 100% data is received from the receiver end, because there is no such type of outside electrical interference of any other type of electronic signal, or any other type of interference is not possible here. Fiber optic cable is obviously more expensive as compared to coaxial or twisted pair cable, but it can transmit data or signals over much longer distance. To the much longer distance means from one, not only from one city to another even, but also it can send or receive data from one state to another, one country to another, or even one continent to another. You must be knowing that all the internet in the world is running based on this cable only. Yes, one continent is connected to the other one using a single or probably two optical fiber cables. Now you can think of how a single small thin cable can carry this much amount of data. Yes, it can carry. It must be more rigid and more expensive cable, and more it is more thick as well, thickness around 4 to 5 inches. Yes, 4 to 5 inches thickness is around given to the international cable, which is laid upon I must say the surface of the ocean. Yes, it lies on the surface of the ocean from one continent to another. Now we will talk about, as we have talked earlier about the wired type of transmission media, now we will talk about the wireless type of medium. Wireless type of medium, that means wireless, there is no wire at all. We will only use any other medium rather using a wire. Now the first one is infrared. In infrared, what? The infrared communication range of the device communicating through infrared waves is very limited. Infrared waves cannot penetrate walls or these obstructions, as so there should be no physical barrier between the communicating devices. The communication between a TV set and a remote could be possible only because of this infrared. I must tell you why. Infrared mouse and keyboards are also examples of devices that make use of infrared waves of data transmission. The most usable type of infrared communication, you can clearly see the TV and the remote. As you press any button in the remote, you have to take up your remote on to the side of the TV, and if it is out of sight, you can say it is not working. If you like, if your TV is on to the left side and you take your remote to the right side and press any button, nothing happens. Why? Because it is out of sight, it is out of the line of the sight of the, as you already know that infrared is also type of light wave, and light wave runs only in a single beam form. So if you take it out of line of sight, it won't work. And the other thing is that the distance covered by infrared waves is very low. It's basically 5 to 10 feet only. If you go further away, you see that your remote control stops working. So it is one of the most used phenomena of infrared waves or infrared communication. The other type of communication is microwave transmission. Microwave transmission uses the shorter waves of radio waves. Now Microwave communications are unidirectional. They can be used for terrestrial communication, which is called on the surface of the earth, or for the satellite communication. Here we can clearly see two examples. The first one, we can see a dish antenna which is throwing microwave signals out, and there is another tower like thing which you may can see. It's looking like a mobile tower. Yes, it is basically a mobile tower, as our mobiles are using microwaves, TVs sometimes using microwaves, and satellite communications, so all are all around using microwaves only. So microwaves communication are unidirectional, we can already see. Microwave propagation is line of sight. Yes, in microwave also there is one thing that is to be corrected, which that they are also line of sight type of communication. That means if you are using dish antenna, then the dish antenna should be pointing towards the satellite. As you can clearly see at your home, DTH connection is there. So if somebody goes up to the terrace and turns the dish antenna, you will see that there is no channel coming to your TV set. Why? Because you have gone out of the sight of the line of the communication signals. So this is also one of the line of sight communication type of medium. So whenever using a terrestrial communication, the towers also must be in the line of sight. That means one tower should send signal to the other one, and there should be no distraction or any sort of wall or any obstacle in between. If you find so, you will see that lack of signal or loss of signal is present there. That's why the antennas are usually located at the substantial height, because that's why the towers are much higher than the ground level, to extend the range between antennas and to able to transmit over obstacles. Like if there are trees also, so most of the times the towers are thought to be up above or longer than the trees onto the surface of the earth. You must have noticed high towers with microwave antennas in your city. Microwaves can pass through the Earth's atmosphere easily and can be used to transmit information between satellites and the Earth base station. Okay, next type of, you can clearly see radio wave transmission. Yes, one type of and very, I must say, long used one. It is prolongedly used since the invention of radio waves. Radio wave communication are omnidirectional. Omnidirectional means they can go through any direction. There is no left and right. Just radio waves can spread all over the earth. Which means that they can travel in all directions from the source, so that the transmitter and receiver need not to be aligned physically. They should not be on line of sight. They should not be key. If one is on left side, the receiver should be on to the left side. They can be omnidirectional anywhere in the site. Radio waves are easily to generate. They can travel long distance and penetrate through buildings easily. Yes, they are less prone to the obstacles. If there is a wall or trees or anything around, even you can expect better signals. It can also be used either indoors or outdoors, there is no issue. However, at all frequencies, radio waves are subject to interference from motors and the other electrical equipment. Yes, there are shorter waves, higher waves, and different waves get differently interference by the outer electronic signals. So as you can clearly see that FM and AM, they are also radio waves. So, and FM waves basically get easily disturbed using any type of outer interference. But if you go to the AM radio, if you try to listen to the AM radio channel, you can still listen radio stations coming from China, America or any European countries. It can go that much far distance. Now, the third type of technology is Bluetooth technology. I should say fourth type of technology is Bluetooth technology. I think everybody is aware of Bluetooth technology. It is used for exchanging data over even shorter distance. That means uh, the type of communication we expect from uh, infrared, same type of uh, uh, network we can create using Bluetooth. It is also for shorter, but as compared to infrared is lowest form of communication. Bluetooth is much better than that, but it is also for only use within a room's boundary or something like that. This technology uses less power. Yes, it is using very less power. One single battery running Bluetooth device can work for years. Yes, it has a shorter range of 30 feet approximately and medium transmission. It is not very fast communication medium, neither very slow or slowest like radio, slowest like infrared. It is somewhere in middle. Bluetooth technology can be used to transfer songs, pictures between two mobile phones. Yes, when we did not have Wi-Fi communication using smartphone, most of the phones were using only the Bluetooth communication for sending or transferring video, pictures or songs from one mobile to another. Nowadays we do have the use of Bluetooth basically for listening songs to the Bluetooth speaker, or sometimes to have a Bluetooth headset or headphone to be connected to the systems for receiving calls or something. Okay. The next possible type of wireless medias are very well known Wi-Fi technology. See, Wi-Fi name comes from wireless fidelity because it spreads around wirelessly. That's why it is known as Wi-Fi. It also makes the use of radio waves to transmit and receive data. This technology requires more energy than Bluetooth, but it is not that much higher. But it also enables the signal to go much further, around 30, not 30, 300 feet, with a faster rate of transmission as compared to Bluetooth. This technology is used to set up networks in which a computer's wireless adapter translates the data into the radio signals and transmits it. Then the wireless router device receives the signal. It decodes the signal and sends it to the internet using a wired connection. Yes, to use a Wi-Fi technology, we must have a wireless Wi-Fi router. Nowadays, routers are becoming very much small. They are of thumb size. Thumb size means like the pen drive, smaller than pen drive. You can attach to your system as well, and you can use the technology of Wi-Fi. Nowadays, in mobile phones also, Bluetooth along with Wi-Fi technology, Wi-Fi chips are also pre-installed within the phones, and we can use the use of Wi-Fi. Now, the another version of Wi-Fi. Yes, Wi-Fi comes in two versions. One is the normal Wi-Fi. The other version is known as WiMAX. WiMAX is what? It is sort of similar to Wi-Fi, but it operates at higher speed and can cover up greater distance and greater number of users as compared to Wi-Fi. As in Wi-Fi, we can connect 5 to 10 systems or computers together, and maximum distance covered is 300 feet, but WiMAX can go through kilometers. Yes, it can go through kilometers, much far distance, and can also cover up more users per router. Yes, as Wi-Fi can be basically, signals can be received using only a small chip and a small antenna which is inbuilt in your mobile phone. As you can see, mobile phones don't use any sort of antenna to catch up the Wi-Fi signal. But if you use WiMAX, there is a small antenna you have to put outside of your house, in the balcony or over the terrace somewhere. A small sort of device is put there to receive the signals.